All right, welcome. We're actually going to get started in Unit 5. This will be our last unit for the semester. So hopefully you have a Unit 5 book with you. And this unit goes into the logic of algebra. So we're really starting to move into more algebra, and we're going to bring in the previous units to kind of help bridge that gap. So here at the front, it's got a letter to the student. It says, "Dear student, a mobile that balances will stay balanced as long as the same weight is added or subtracted to both sides." That's like adding or subtracting a number from both sides of an equation. That same logic works for algebraic equations too. You've already been applying logic to algebra in Think of a Number tricks and mobile puzzles. In this unit, you'll organize and extend that logic to solve algebraic equations like 2x plus 1 equals 5x plus 5 with the same strategies you use to solve the mobile puzzles and shape equations like star plus 1 equals star plus 5. So we're really pulling from that those lessons we did with the mobiles and the what number am I kind of puzzles and all those. You'll also learn to think of algebraic expressions as layers of instructions, like a think of a number trick. If you can figure out what the steps of the trick are, you can start with someone's final number and then unravel the instructions until you arrive at their starting number. In this unit, you'll also learn how you can sometimes simplify your work by covering up a complicated expression and temporarily pretending it isn't there. Algebra is full of logic. The more you get into the habit of looking for the logic, the more you'll discover. Okay, so we're going to be diving into this unit. We're going to start in on page 3. So if you want to join me there on page 3, we'll get started with staying balanced lesson. Okay, so we're looking at this staying balanced here in lesson 1, and they give us a mobile, and they say here that this mobile is balanced. Okay, I have 4 stars, 2 flowers. Based on this mobile, you can consider whether the other mobile is balanced. Okay, just looking at this, I have 4 stars and 2 flowers. So, and those are equal. So what that means here is that 1 flower equals 2 stars. Okay, and we can kind of split those up and divide it. So I can kind of use that to see if these balance. Okay, so can we say for sure that this mobile balances? Well, I have a triangle on each side, and those will always balance. Okay, and over here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stars and 2 flowers left over. So yes, this will always balance. Okay, and then we just need to kind of justify why or why not. Okay, we could say that the triangles cancel, and you have 4 stars equals 2 flowers. I just abbreviated there with some pictures. Okay, and that balances. Okay, here, can we say for sure that this mobile balances? Well, before we said that 2 stars equals 1 flower, and that's what we have. So yes, this will balance. By what reasoning? Well, it's half of what was provided, which was 4 stars equals 2 flowers. Okay, it's half of that. Now here, will this balance? Well, I have 2 flowers over here, which means over here I must have 4 stars. Or I can say that these two stars will cancel out and these two flowers must equal 4, but it doesn't. So we'll say no, and we could say that 2 stars does not equal 2 flowers. Okay, we'd have to have 4 stars on that side. Okay, here they really change it up on us. Okay, you got a circle and a square equals a heart. And it says, we don't have enough information to solve any of these mobile puzzles. Why not? But we can still talk about the relationships between the shapes. Okay, you have too many unknowns here to really solve for one. You're missing some numbers. You're going to need some numbers here to solve it. But I do know that a square and a circle equals a heart. So can we for sure say that this mobile is balanced? Okay, we have 2 hearts. So if I have two hearts, that means I have to have double this over here. So I have 2 circles and 2 squares. So yes, this does balance. The reasoning, it's double what they told us was equal, which was a circle and a square equals a heart. You could put a little plus in there. It's kind of the stuff we've written before. Okay, here we notice a heart on each side, so we can cancel those out. Okay, and I have a circle and a square should equal 1 heart, but over here I have 2 hearts. So this will not balance. Okay, no, it will not balance because we have too many hearts. Too many hearts on the right. Okay, it should only have 1 heart there left over. Can we say for sure that the mobile balances? So I have a heart and a square and a circle. So yes. Okay, this is just flipped. Okay, you can organize it in any order. So items are just rearrange. All right, number 3 here. Which of the following changes would keep this mobile balanced? Circle all that apply. Okay, so this is, we're saying that this is balanced right here. Okay, and what things here would keep it balanced no matter what? Okay, so if I add a pentagon to both sides, okay, remember adding, if I add 5 pounds to both sides, nothing changes. So this is good. Adding 5 leaves to both sides. Okay, that also works because you're doing the same amount to both sides. Move all the pentagons to the right side. Well, if I take this pentagon and move it over here, it's not going to be balanced anymore. I didn't do the same thing to each side. I actually subtracted from this side and added to this side, and that's not the same thing. Switch the leaf and the circle. So if I just switch these spots, nothing changes because they're on the same side. So that's okay. Add a circle to the right side. Well, this is currently balanced. If I add a circle to one side, but not the other, it does not balance. So that's not good. Remove 1 pentagon from both sides. So if I remove this one and remove this one, it will still balance because you're doing that same thing to both sides. Okay. All right, turn over to page 4 here. Okay, this mobile balances. Use the key to translate into an equation. Okay, so we're going to write this in the first part and this in the second part. So a moon is M, a star is S, and a circle is C. So we have an S for circle or for star, plus a moon, plus a circle, plus another moon. Now we could have kind of combined like terms, which we just talked about in the last unit. Okay, combining like terms here, we have S plus M, well, plus 2M, because you got 2 M's plus C. We could have written that instead. So over here, if we combine like terms, okay, or we could just say we have 2S plus a moon plus 2S. If we simplify that with like terms, kind of like we've done before, I now have 4S plus M. Draw the mobile that would remain if you crossed out 1 star and 1 moon on each side. Okay, so if we cross out a star on each side and we cross out a moon on each side, on this side I would have a circle and a moon. Okay, on the right side, we're still getting rid of a star and a moon. So if I get rid of a star and a moon, I just have 3 stars. Do we know if these changes would keep the mobile balanced? Explain your reasoning. Well, 1 star and 1 moon on each side. Okay, so if I did it the same on both sides, here I just crossed out a star on each side and I crossed out a moon on each side. So yes, it's balanced because you did the same on both sides. Okay, so as long as you're doing the same on both sides, it'll be fine. Okay, number 7, write an equation for your modified mobile by using the key to translate. The same logic about changes that keep mobiles balanced can be used to consider changes that keep equations true. So here we have a circle plus a moon equals, and in this case, we have 1, 2, 3 stars. If the equation S plus M plus C plus M equals 2S plus M plus 2S is true, then which of these equations are true? Mark true or false. Okay, so we're going to use this here to see which ones are true. Okay, so I have 2S, M, 2S. So that's the left side here. So S, M, C, M. Okay, so this one is true. Now here I have 4S plus M, which over here you have 4 S's plus an M equals 2M. You had 2 M's, S, and a C. So this is also true. Okay, 5S plus M equals 2M plus C. Now what they did here is, if I look back up here, all they did, they took this S and moved it to this side. Okay. They moved it to the other side, and you can't do that. You have to, if I subtract an S from this side, I have to subtract an S from this side. So this is false. Okay, so I have S plus 2M plus C. So S plus 2M plus C, that's this side, equals 4S plus M. Well, that's pretty much, that's this one just turned around. So this is true. 4S equals S plus M plus C. So what they did here, let's go over here. What they did here is they canceled an M on both sides. So I cancel this M and I cancel an M here, and that's what they have. And you can cancel the same thing on both sides. Here we have 3S plus C plus M. Okay, which if we look up here, 3S equals C plus M. This is true. So be careful there rearranging some of those. Make sure you're canceling the same thing on both sides. Okay, our last 4 problems here. It says use the key and choose shapes and translate the mobile to algebra in problems 9 through 12. So this mobile balances. Create a new balanced mobile based on this mobile. Okay, so we're going to use these shapes here to write something else that balances. Okay, so I have 3 circles equals 2 triangles. So what I can do here is I can, add the same shape to both sides. I can double these. I can't really cut them in half because I have 3. So 1 triangle actually equals 1.5, but I could double it. I can there's a lot of things we can do. So let's just start with our 3 circles and our 2 triangles. And I can just maybe add another circle to both sides. Okay, and nothing changes there. Okay, 10, translate both mobiles into equations. Okay, so this mobile, we have 3 circles equals 2 triangles as a T. Over here, we have 4 circles equals 2 triangles plus another circle. So you see both sides grew by 1 circle or 1C. This mobile balances 2. Create a new balanced mobile based on this one. Okay. So here it looks like we already have a heart on each side, and we have 2 stars and then a pentagon and a kite there. So we could really just get rid of our 2 hearts. So if I draw this pentagon here, try, and then the kite, and then I have 2 stars. Okay, which means that these are all equal to each other. So translate both equations, both mobiles into equations. So you have a pentagon plus a heart plus a kite equals 2 stars plus a heart. See, we have an H on both sides, and if I subtract H from both sides, I get this picture, which was a pentagon plus a kite equals 2 stars. Okay. So you can see here, we're kind of headed into this algebra stuff with equations. We can still use our pictures and our drawings to help us do that. All right, that will be the end of this first part of lesson 1 in unit 5. The next lesson, we will go over the stuff to make you think, which is on page 5, and the tough stuff on page 6. You can probably go ahead and get started on the additional practice on page 7, which is where your quiz will come from. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out and let me know. If not, I'll see you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching.